Today we're going to be analyzing Iguro Obanai, the most hateful Hashira in the Demon Slayer series. This goes without saying, but spoiler warning for anyone who has not yet read the Demon Slayer manga. We'll be discussing events that have not yet happened in the anime, so here's your chance to swipe off the video. Also, I now have a public Discord server, so feel free to join. The link to that is in my bio. Iguro is first introduced in chapter 45 of the manga in season 1 episode 22 of the anime during the Hashira meeting at the Ubuyashiki mansion. Unfortunately, we see very little of Iguro until the Hashira training arc, where we get a brief interaction between him and Tanjiro during serpent training, in which Iguro abruptly conveys his distaste for Tanjiro and his love for Mitsuri Kanroji. Even as we move into the Infinity Castle arc where Iguro and Mitsuri take on replacement Upper Moon 4 Nakime, most of that fight remains off-screen, giving us little opportunity to get a better understanding of the Serpent Hashira. As a child, Iguro was born into a massive family of thieves who worshipped a snake demon that had a taste for infants, a price the family willingly paid in exchange for their riches. However, Iguro was different, being the first male offspring in the family for hundreds of years, as well as being born with heterochromia, a condition that results in a person having two different colored eyes, which propelled his parents to keep him locked up in a wooden cage and spoil him with expensive foods, something Iguro quickly grew to detest as a result of the food's strong odors and the poor ventilation in his cage. Furthermore, due to Igoro's drastic differences from the rest of the family, the snake demon grew an obsession with him, spending its nights observing Iguro through his cage, a habit Iguro quickly noticed, terrifying him and preventing him from sleeping much in his youth. Upon turning 12, for the first time in his life, Iguro was set free from his cage and taken to the snake demon upon its request, where he finally discovered that the monster whose stare incited his insomnia was the demon his family worshipped. Formerly being face to face with the object of its obsession for the last 12 years, the snake demon conveys its adoration for Iguro by having his mouth slashed open from ear to ear as a means of making Iguro closer resemble itself, then informing Iguro that it wishes to let him grow more before consuming him. Fearing for his life, Iguro used a hairpin that he had stolen in an attempt to free himself, carving at the bars of his wooden cage for days on end. It was during this prolonged escape that Iguro met and befriended Kaburamaru, his snake companion. Eventually breaking free from the cage, Iguro and Kaburamaru attempted to escape from the village and his family, but were quickly caught up to by the snake demon, who had rampaged the village upon discovering Iguro's escape. However, before the demon could kill Iguro, the demon was defeated by the flame Hashira of the time, presumably Shinjiro Rengoku. Learning that his cousin, the only other survivor, wholeheartedly blamed Iguro for the loss of the family and village, Iguro grew to hate himself and the bloodline from which he came from. However, upon becoming a demon slayer, Iguro found a way to instead project his self-loathing hatred towards demons, whose very existence was the catalyst for his misfortune. Though Iguro would still go on to acknowledge his hatred of himself when proclaiming that he never confessed his love for Mitsuri due to his disgust for the impure blood flowing through his body, and viewing the actions he took which led to the death of his family as selfish and evil, stating that until he is reincarnated after atoning for the sins of his past, he is unworthy to stand by Mitsuri's side. During the Sunset Countdown arc, Iguro and Mitsuri would go on to play pivotal roles in the eventual defeat of Kibutsuji Muzan. However, in return, they would both receive fatal injuries. Dying in each other's arms, they confess their love for one another as Iguro smiles. Believing to have finally atoned for the sins of his past, they peacefully pass on to the afterlife together. A man who utilized hate to drive himself forward his entire life dies with nothing but love in his heart.